do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air.
What's up, Five Links? I love it. Listen, it is my absolute honor and privilege. First of all, let me just ask a sidebar question to all the partners here. Is this weekend thus far the most incredible weekend in our company's history? Well, I want to dive right into this, and before I do that, I think it's important anytime someone listens to someone in regards to business, I think it's important that you know a little bit about the person you're listening to. And before I give you that, I want to find out how many people are here for the very first time taking a look at, stand up, let's welcome each and every guest that's here. Make them feel good, Five Links. Welcome. Good. And we know there's a lot of people that are actually looking at this for the very first time tonight. And my name is Steve Carter. I am a double platinum senior vice president with our company. And I'll kind of go through a little bit and give you some background and a little bit about what that means. But I know what it feels like to sit in the audience. Obviously, I sat in an audience much smaller than this. But I know what it feels like to sit in an audience and be given a presentation and then have to make a decision as to whether or not this was something that I felt was going to be a blessing to my family. And I'm telling you right now, this was the best thing that's ever happened to me, second to getting married and having children. Outside of that, Five Links is the best thing that has ever happened to me. And I share that because I want everybody that's here for the first time to understand that this can be an absolute blessing to you. If you like what you see, the way many of us loved what we saw when we got started, then I want to just officially, before we even get started, welcome you to the family. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, what is this all about? Why are these people so excited? Why are people hugging each other everywhere they go and people are just smiling and having a great time? Let me explain to you why. First of all, I believe it's because we've got something so unique, and it's something that people can clearly see can change their lives. So I want you to understand who Five Links is, and let me give it to you in everyday terminology. We're simply a direct selling telecommunications and technology company that has also recently tapped into the energy market. And all we're simply doing as a company, we're marketing services to people all over the world. Our flagship product, we've got customers in 20 countries. But then we've also got a host of services that we market nationwide in North America and even in Canada. And I'm telling you right now, what's unique about what we market is not the fact that we have all these different services, technology and utilities and telecommunications. That's not what's unique. What's unique is that this company will allow anybody, everyday people like all of us, to become an independent representative, where we'll teach you how to go out and acquire customers for this company. But when you do that, you begin making money the same way the company makes money, which is in the form of something called residual income. Most of us are not familiar with that. We're taught the opposite of that, as a matter of fact. I don't care how educated any one of us in this room has become. We're taught the opposite of residual. All residual simply means is that you will get paid, because when you go out and acquire these customers, every single time these customers pay a bill, if they happen to be a part of your customer base that I can easily teach you how to build, well, every single time they pay their bills, you get paid. Now, I think the obvious strength with that statement is the fact that we all know these bills are paid every 30 days. Yes or yes? So when someone pays a bill and it's every 30 days, what I love about that is that the bills can also never be paid off. So not only is it a residual ongoing cash flow, but this is a residual ongoing cash flow that's long-term because it can't be paid off. And then I love the fact that the company doesn't put a limitation on any one of us on how many thousands or tens of thousands, soon to be hundreds of thousands, and even millions of customers, of which you don't have to know 99% of them. But because they're in your customer base, and they pay a bill, which they're going to pay anyway. Can somebody say anyway? Well, that customer is going to yield you a commission that comes hitting your direct deposit every 30 days. And I'm telling you very realistically, many of us have been put in a position financially where we're blessed to earn in a month what a lot of people earn in a year, 2 years. And I say that not from an arrogant space at all. I say that really from a humble space and a thankful space. But I'm telling you that because you need to know that, because this can happen for you. I don't think that there's anything uniquely special about Steve Carter other than the fact that I found something, I saw it, and I went after it. And if you knew me in 1996 when I first got involved in this industry, you'd be 100% convinced you can do it. Because I didn't come with a whole lot of business background. I definitely did not come with any type of stage presence or speaking skills at all. As a matter of fact, I almost passed out the first time I was asked to come up in front of the room because I didn't even know I was going to be asked. And a lot of times people say that death, people would rather die than public speak. Death is usually second on the fear list to speaking. So I'm telling you that because some of you are going to end up one day being able to stand on a stage or to be able to get in front of a room, and all you're going to do is speak from here. You're going to bless somebody else and tell them what has happened to you. And because they heard that it happened to you, they're going to turn around and receive that and end up blessing themselves by blessing others. So I'm telling you right now, you're getting ready to hear about a company that I think is changing the world. And I know that we're going to become a billion-dollar company and then a multi-billion-dollar company, but the only way that happens is for many of you out in this room to become multimillionaires. We've done that, blessed to have earned millions of dollars. But I'm telling you that that's not difficult to do. It's just easier not to. Most of us take the path of least resistance. We're taught to do a certain thing and we do it. And most of us were never taught to become wealthy. So I'm telling you right now, you absolutely deserve it, and you should be responsible for you and your family creating wealth. So with that, let's dive into this. Is that fair? Now, I think one of the first things you ought to do when getting involved or considering getting involved in something like this, establish your reason why. That just means, what is the very reason you need this to work? Notice I say need, not want. Some of us needed it to work. It was not necessarily what we were running after. It was more so what we were running from. We were living check to check when we first got involved in this industry. I remember having more month at the end of the money every month. It would be halfway through the month and every bill, every income check was already spent prior to even coming in. That's just not a way to live, but that's where 97% of the population lives today. So you need to establish a reason why that's bigger than you. I've got 4 beautiful little children, 7, 5, 3, and 1. And I'll run through a brick wall for every single one of them. So those are my reasons why. Nothing can waver what I'm doing. So you've got to establish something bigger than you. Not only that, it might be something like more time with your family, diversify your income, pay off some debt. It could be any one of these bullet points on this screen. Or it may be something more personal to you. But establish it so that when the inevitable resistance faces you, you already know you're going to keep going. Because I'm going to tell you right now, in this type of business, you can't fail. You either win or you quit. And the beautiful thing with that is, guess who controls that? You do. So establish your why. Now, background of the company, founded in 2001. Folks, we're in our 10th year of operation right now. And let me tell you what that ought to mean to everybody listening. We're not in the first 2 years, pray to stay in business startup phase. We're a multi-million-dollar, tens of millions of dollars, 10 years strong, and heading towards hundreds of millions of dollars. So everything is in place. These 3 gentlemen collectively formulated their abilities and talents, merged their talents, and 5 Links was born. And now we've become one of the fastest growing privately held companies in the nation. Over a 4-year period, we did 800% growth. Pause and think about that, family. If your check on your job grew 100%, would you be dancing in the office? So for our company to have grown 800%, that ought to put it in perspective. And we've done it consistently. But not only that, because of the growth, the company opened a 50,000 square foot world headquarters to house the employees that work on our behalf. So from a corporate infrastructure, everything is in place. And I believe all of this is happening for one main reason. Representatives come first. Let me tell you what that means to me and what it ought to mean to you, folks. The company understands this. If you're making money, you're pretty happy. If you're happy and excited, you'll stick around. If you stick around, you'll continue to build it. And if you continue to build it, it's going to continue to grow. That's the reason we're going through this hyper growth right now. That's just a simple philosophy. They understand that. The more money we can make, the more money the company makes. It's a win-win for everybody. It's very rare to talk to owners, and owners are getting excited about the income potential for us. I've become dear friends with these owners. And when I have conversations with them and they're getting fired up about us making multiple six figures every 30 days, they get just as excited as we do. That's rare in business. So I want you to understand, we've got something special. Now, you might have been invited out by somebody that might have got started in this last week. How much could they really teach you? Not a whole lot. Here's the good news. You don't have to rely on anybody that invited you out. Do your own due diligence. Check out what we're doing. The beautiful thing is we are the word on the street right now. People are hearing about 5 Links, folks, and they're gravitating to this company because it's all positive. So do your due diligence. Read these publications, these business publications we've been featured in, all talking favorably about 5 Links. Your Business at Home, Direct Selling News, Inc. magazine, that's a big one. They come out with an annual edition, and they only rank the 500 fastest growing privately held companies in the nation. We're talking North America. Look, if you were to go in downtown New Orleans, there's probably 500 companies on just a couple block radius. So for us to be amongst the top 500 fastest growing for 4 consecutive years, no other networking company has ever done that. That ought to tell you about 5 Links. But not only that, I think the timing is impeccable. Let me tell you why, family. 2 reasons. One is because technology just continues to evolve. Every time we turn around, there's something new. I mean, there's new stuff right now that we're learning about. I mean, this stuff we launched today, the tablet. How many of you guys are fired up that we've got our own tablet? So now we're going up competing against the Apples and the big companies like that. So technology evolves. That's always a beautiful thing when you're on the forefront and the cutting edge and leading the pack in technology. We've got that part covered. But the other reason that a lot of people didn't see coming, they were blindsided, is the economy. This economic climate that we're in right now is in the toilet. And nobody can deny that. Yes or yes? So when an economic situation like now occurs, let me tell you what I believe happens. It's what we call human instinct. We've got survival skills that kick in. And when people right now are concerned about their well-being and their incomes and so forth, they immediately, internally, you don't have to teach this, they look for 2 things. They look for ways to cut back on their expenses, their spending. Then they look for ways to make a little extra what? Money. Now think about what I just said. People instinctively look for 2 things in an economy like this. Ways to save money or stop spending, and ways to make money. Those of you that are new, let me give you some good news. Those are the very 2 things we do. We look for people that want to save money on bills that they pay for anyway. So when I say anyway, it's because we're not going to somebody and saying, look, try these things called lights in your house. Try this thing called a cell phone. You may not have heard of one. No, we're just saying, look, if we can save you money or at least give you competitive pricing on a bill you're already paying, can we talk? And then we say those that are entrepreneurial minded, like all of us in this room, look, if there was a way I can show you how we can make money on top of what you're doing, would you be interested? The answer is always going to be yes. If they're not dead from the neck up, they're at least open to that. So when we've got an economy like that, and these are the 2 things that we do, guess what? people are walking around waiting for you to approach them about this. This is what they're looking for already. You don't have to convince somebody that it makes sense to save money when money is tight. You don't have to convince somebody that it's okay to make money when money is tight. So although we never wish a bad thing on an individual, this economy has helped our business. And we're giving people a plan B when most people don't even think about a plan B until their plan A is in jeopardy. You need to start preparing for war in times of peace. Don't wait for the roof to cave in before you start thinking about some other way to make some money. Don't walk into your job and get reorganized, re-engineered, restructured with your fancy syllables for fired. So many people do that. It's like walking out on a tightrope with no net, getting halfway out there and realizing you forgot something. That's a scary place to be. And that's where most people are on their jobs every day. Yes or yes? So I want you to understand this timing couldn't be better. Now, we started in the telecom business with 5 Links. I came on board in 2007, humbled and blessed to say we've made millions in telecom. Telecom is my friend. I love it. But I'm telling you, we've got our own network. We've got all our own products in-house with Global Links. But I'm telling you, as powerful as telecom has been, and when you look at voice over IP and this technology, don't ask Steve Carter. Don't take my word for it. If you were to just Google the Wall Street Journal and look for the top 10 industries that the Wall Street Journal says we should be in for the next decade, number 1 is voice over IP. So telecom can be good to you, but as incredibly good as it is, do you realize what else we've tapped into that's 10 times bigger than telecom? Energy. Folks, let me ask a rhetorical question. How many of you in this room would love to get paid when somebody turns on their lights? How about they cook on a gas stove? How about because they heat their home? This is stuff that they're doing right now. We're just regenerating, we're shifting the direction of the wealth. So this is energy and natural gas, electricity. This is unbelievable with utilities. And 5 Links is expanding throughout states all over the country. And we've right now, as far as network marketing, we've got the largest footprint already. That's something you can be proud of. But not only have we got the bases covered with telecom and with energy, we've got every other aspect of technology covered. 5 Links Mobile. How many of you either have or know somebody with a cell phone? Raise your hand. Every hand ought to be up. We've got a contract with 3 of the major U.S. carriers. Sprint, T-Mobile, Verizon. You know any family member, friend, associate, coworker that wants to get a phone, who ought they get it from? You. You're going to save them money on the hardware itself. They go into the retail store, they're going to pay retail prices. We get it wholesale. So we've got the same brand new phone. I sat down with a gentleman about a month or 2 ago, asked him what phone he had. He had just purchased it. He paid $250 for it. True story. Samsung Galaxy through T-Mobile, $250. I didn't even know how much it cost on our site. I said, let me see what it is on ours. Went through the 5 Links website, went right to T-Mobile, looked up Samsung Galaxy, $69. Same phone, brand new. You could save $180 if he had gone through us. You think that might have been an easy sale? If a person has a choice between paying more or less for something they want to buy, which would they prefer to do? Less. You don't have to become a salesperson for that. So don't think you need any special professional skills for this. But not only telecom, cell phones, home security, high-speed internet, merchant processing, 5 Links satellite TV through Dish Network and DirecTV, ID Guard, Business Elite, Platinum, sir. We've got every base covered from a residential service, meaning something in someone's home, and for small and or large businesses. Everything that they're already using. Walk into someone's home, you can save them money on something they're paying for. Walk into someone's business, you can save them money for something they're paying for. So they'll entertain that conversation no matter how good or bad you may present the information. But I want to share with you how we get paid. This is the key. We only do two things. Let's not overcomplicate this, 5 links. We do two things in the business. Look for people that want to save money. Look for people that want to make money. Does that cover the globe? Let's talk about this. Let's get some people on some of the services. One of the first goals we'll set for you, go out and get 20 customers. Now, you may be thinking, which would be a smart thought, is that, you know what, I know easily 20 people that would love to save money on a bill they're already paying. That's a true statement. But guess what? It's easier than that because it's not even 20 people. It's 20 customer points. Every service we market counts as an independent point. So realize that who should be your first and best and most loyal customer? Yourself. So if you just signed up to get some money back on your own bill, you could literally, with the services we have in place, you'll end up with 10 customers in your own house and they're all you. So if your goal is 20 and half of them can come from your own house, is the goal attainable? Yeah. Knock out 20 customers within your first 30 days, $500 bonus just for doing that. That's awesome. Let me tell you what's powerful about that. People are hitting those bonuses and don't even know what the heck they're doing yet. The other thing we're going to teach you how to do in addition to getting these customers, we're going to teach you how to share this business with other people. Recruit you 2 people into this business. Do that within your same first 30 days. Another $250 paid to you. So now if we just pause right there, that's $750. And at this point, more than likely, you don't even know what you're doing yet. So you've made close to $1,000 and your brand's spanking new. That's powerful. But that's just a bonus, which if you really think about that definition, it's a one-time pay because of something you did. That's not why we've got an arena full of people to talk about a bonus. The reason I got in this industry because of a term called residual income. I wasn't familiar with that. At least I wasn't consciously familiar. I had heard of it in the music industry and the entertainment business. I'd heard of recording artists that are no longer in the studio recording, but every time their records are sold and or played, they're earning royalty checks. I've heard of actors that are, whether they're sitcoms or big screen, those reruns happen, they still get paid. Even if they made those sitcoms, they filmed it years ago. I'd heard of that. To me, that was just for stars, superstars. When I started realizing that we could get paid the same way and not have to sing, dance, or act, I said I could do that. So residual means you've done something once correctly the first time and you keep getting paid for it. Let me give you a perspective, family. What if you were able to walk into your job on January 1st, which was just a few weeks ago, and your boss made a deal with you that you'd get the same salary you got last year. However, you don't have to work this year. They're going to pay you the salary this year because you worked last year. Folks, that's how we get paid in this deal. Let me tell you the power of residual. Look, I talked about 2 things that we do. We're not going to overcomplicate this, family. We look for people that want to save money. We look for people that want to make money. Let's just say you found a few people that wanted to make money. Let's just say 3, hypothetically. You get 3 people that say, you know what, this is making sense. I'm in. If that's all you did, and that alone duplicated, it's going to multiply. Because if those 3 know 3, you've got 9 more in your team that you did not know, nor did you recruit. What if the 9 know 3? 27 more. What if they know 3? 81 more. 243 more. 729 more. 2187 more. By the time it starts going down generations, you've got thousands of people in your business, and how many did you recruit? Here's the good news. There are no limits to how many people you can share this with. We use 3 as an example, just to show you the power of multiplication, exponential growth, geometric progression. So I want you to understand this is powerful. People look at that right there. They'll look at that 3, 9, 27. They'll look at all of that, add those numbers up. It's about 9,000 so people. They say, wait a minute. Is that realistic? Can we really end up with thousands of people, like 9, 10,000 people, and we only introduced a few? Folks, I'm not going to talk numbers that aren't realistic. I'm not going to talk numbers that have not already been done in 5 links, and I'm not going to talk numbers that I've not personally done. When I look at that example, it's great. But in our first few years in the business, we quadrupled that. So my point is, you don't have to go find the whole world. Find a few people that this makes sense to, and they know others you don't know. And it starts growing beyond your control. This takes on a life of its own, family. And guess what? When all these business partners start popping up in your group because they see this opportunity that they had never heard of prior to somebody in your organization, or even you happens to share with them, and they get involved, guess what? They're excited. But guess what? They're all signing up. Customers. They're talking to their own family members, their own friends, their own coworkers, their own neighbors. Because I didn't mention to you that guess what? You don't have to become a professional salesperson. Nobody's going door to door. Nobody's walking through the mall with a clipboard signing up customers. You're talking to people that know you and love you already. People you're not afraid to have a conversation with. I can go to my mom and say, Mom, if your baby boy could save you some money on a bill you're already paying every 30 days, Mom, can we talk? What do you think Mom's going to say? Yes. So that's all you've got to do. Go to the people that you know and they love and respect you, and sign them up on services that they would love to save money on. They're already paying the bill every 30 days because let me just let you in on a secret. Those of you that are here for the very first time, and I mean this with love and respect, but you're already in this industry. It's just unfortunately you're probably only on one side of the industry, which is accounts payable. Because I don't have to have met you personally to know that every 30 days you're either writing a check or someone's debiting your credit card on every service we market. So you in. Don't say it doesn't work. It baffles me when somebody says, oh, that stuff doesn't work. Then they go home, pick up the phone to tell somebody it doesn't work. And if the phone works, guess what? At the end of the month, they're going to get a bill. And if they want the phone to continue working, they're going to what? Pay the bill. We all know about that friendly reminder, the red letter. I remember those days. You get a little warning. When the red letter comes on, that's letting you know. Don't pay now. Let's see what happens. Nothing personal, but you can't make a call. That's how they do with all the services that we market. So every single person that becomes a customer, they're going to pay forever. So think about this. Before we even get to thousands of people, if you decide, you know what, Steve, this is making sense. Some of you are going to get business mature enough to realize when it makes sense, it makes dollars. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to start building your team. You're going to look up, you're going to have people growing, people coming in that you didn't recruit. May not be thousands just yet. What if it was just 20? Let me show you something. Build a team of 20 people. You can do that in 30 days. Guess what? Teach them the same goal that I taught you, which was to get 20 customer points. Now, 5 Links is going to pay out a commission on those services. What if you were only earning 50 cents on all the services in your team, even the ones you didn't sign up personally? You may be thinking, don't tell me you dragged me down here to talk about 50 cents. Let me just tell you something. 50 cents on something that you didn't have to necessarily do yourself, getting paid every 30 days, ongoing, and can never be paid off on an unlimited amount of people, oh, it adds up. Because even if you just had 20 little people in your team, they got the 20 customers, you earn that little 50 cents, it's $200 a month. You're not going to retire on that, but would you cash the check? And would you be okay with the fact that no matter what you did with the money, it's coming back next month? Well, 200 is okay. But what if you realize early on that, wait a minute, if I can earn $200 a month, with 20 people on my team, why in the heck would I stop at 20? What if I build a team a little bigger than 20? End up building a team, let's say 200. Same 20 customer point goal for everybody. Same little 50 cents. Folks, how many of you realize now you're earning $2,000 a month? Here's what I want you to get, 5 Links. That's when the game changes. I've sat down with every walk of life you can think of from a professional standpoint when it comes to this company. I've sat down with bankers, sat down with financial advisors, I've sat down with investors, and I'm naming people that are in the money business. And it amazes me that whenever we get to this part of the subject or the conversation, they do more listening than talking. And I mean that very respectfully, but it's because they understand how they have to generate their income. If you just think about $2,000 a month as an example, let me share something with you. A traditional investment, in order for you to invest an amount of money to yield you $2,000 a month in passive income, even if you got a 10% return on your money, you'd still need $240,000 cash. You may think, well, how does that work? $240,000, 10% of that is $24,000. Divide that by 12 months, that's $2,000 a month. So if you want to go to an investor that can promise you a 10% yield, you're going to have to put up $240,000, and at 10%, you'll make $2,000 a month. Now I want you to think about this and have a paradigm shift. Instead of putting up $250,000, what if you just talk to a few people who talk to a few people? You wind up with a couple hundred people in your group. They all get 20 customers. You're earning 50 cents on that. And you're earning the same $2,000. Do you realize that just means with opening your mouth, you've developed a $250,000 asset without having to put the money up? This is when these investors, financial advisors, bankers, that's when they start listening. Because I'm telling you right now, when you think about what we've been blessed to have built already, you can move that comma over once, throw another 0 on the end, and change that little 2 in the front. Now, I say that very humbly, but I'm saying that because it's put us in a position where in a month, we'll earn what most people earn in a year, 2 years. Now, think about that. Not bragging at all, not from an arrogant space. But when I think about earning in a month what someone takes a year to earn, what that also tells me is what takes us a year to earn would take that same person 12 years to earn. So don't get it twisted, 5 Link. This is not about telecom. This is about getting your life back. You got a decade given back to you in the example I'm using right now. Now, this just makes common sense. Now, I've been around long enough to know common sense is not always common. But those of you that have it, I know this is making sense. And this is just one example of how we get paid. That residual is one aspect of how we get paid. You can also start earning bonuses immediately while you build your team. So as you start getting people involved in your organization, when they come in and get their minimum customers, the following week, a bonus is paid. Even if and when you didn't recruit the person. Get this. Let's say you're at the mid-level range, national director, that little position that says ND, national director. That's a beautiful position in our company. But if you look at the top, it says you can earn up to as high as how much? $140. Now that represents because people are coming in your team. There are going to be a lot of people that you don't even recruit, but they're going to get in your group. So let's just say you were averaging $100 on everybody that came in, even if you never knew them. You didn't even know they came in until they did. But if you're national director, 10 people they come in your group in a week, you didn't recruit any of them. If you're averaging $100 per person, when they get their customers, you made $1,000. And you recruited none of them. And the only way the 1,000 was made is because customers were acquired. So not only did you make an upfront bonus of $1,000 off those 10 individuals that got started, but what happened to your residual bank? It went up. Someone added customers to your bank. So you got an upfront grand while the residuals are coming. And those what? Keep coming. That's the eventual never lift a finger money. And it doesn't ever get tired, doesn't ever cop an attitude. It's just constant. Money will work harder for you when you know how to put it to work. Most of us are being taught how to go to work for someone else. And we work hard for them. So you got to understand, pick which side you want to be on. When you move to the right in our comp plan, if you look that way, what happens to those numbers at the top? They get bigger for doing the same doggone thing. We only do two things. Look for people that want to save money. Look for people that want to make money. That covers the globe. That's all we do. But you make more money when you hit the higher positions. So when you start getting to positions like senior vice president, it's got a beautiful ring to it, but it's got some perks to it as well. You get some benefits. For example, 5,000 stock option shares. We didn't know what the heck that was. What's a stock option share? What's an IPO? We didn't know what that was when we got in business. We were wet behind the ears and hungry to make some money. Now we understand it. It means if this thing goes public, multiply the 5,000 times the opening share price. Opens at $10, 50 grand. If it opens at $100, $500,000. Who knows what will happen if and when we go public? Let's get you to SVP and find out. What else happens? BMW payment. This company recognizes now you represent the leadership position. So you've got to represent it in a certain way. So the company says, we'll pay you up to $800 a month. Just go get any silver Beamer of your choice. Your choice. You want the truck, you want the coupe, you want the two-seater, you want the convertible, you want the big body 7, you want the 5. Just as long as it's silver, we'll pay you up to $800 a month because you're a senior vice president. You've got minimum production and you're getting this $800 every month. I tell all my leaders, look, find one where you negotiate a note that's less than $800 so that every month you're not digging in your pocket at all. That just makes sense to me. Then the company gives you Global Links bonuses, an annual vacation. We went on a Mediterranean cruise and didn't pay a thing. See, folks, there's a difference between a vacation and a trip. We've all been on trips as we came up in our lives as children and grown-ups and all this. Trips are when you're budgeting on how much you can afford to pay, which airline is most economical, how long you can stay, how crazy you can be in the gift shop, which hotel is decent enough to stay, and when you need to get back and hope that nobody's upset you were gone. That's a trip. Vacation is what 5 Links does. Show up. First of all, your flight itinerary and ticket is emailed to you. They didn't ask you for a credit card. They just email you your itinerary. You show up. All you need is your ID. If we're overseas, and your passport. Show up. I'm with 5 Links. They slap a purple wristband on your wrist. Have fun for the next week. Don't dig in your pocket. Now, that's a vacation. Look, we went to one resort, complimentary room service, 24 hours. Now, I've heard of complimentary room service, but it's rare that it's 24 hours. My wife and I waking up at 4 in the morning, baby, you want some lobster or something? Complimentary room service, 24 hours. We were hoping we'd get back to the States and that same little purple wristband was going to work. But I'm telling you right now, that's a vacation. So we need to stop tripping and start vacationing. Then there's an expense account you can qualify for. Now, this is just at SVP. Folks, we've got a record number of SVPs this weekend getting promoted. Half of them already walked this stage today. We've got 23 people whose lives have been changed because they sat in an audience like you're sitting in and they took what I'm sharing seriously. And as proud as we are of them and as happy as we are for them, guess what they're focused on? Platinum SVP. This is when the game changes. Folks, the first thing the company does, they show you their token of appreciation for the book of business you brought the company by awarding you with a Bentley. That's just an award. That's a great job. Not only that, how many of you were here a couple hours ago where they gave away over $1 million in platinum pool money? Folks, that's an equity stake in the company's revenue. And here's what I love about this. What I love about this is the company has no bias. The computer promotes you. There are no isms, no racism, favoritism, sexism, nepotism. None of that approach applies here. All the crap that plagues corporate America is not here. And I love the fact that what happens with that platinum pool is the company says, okay, we want to reward the people who take it seriously. We don't care if you got started last year or this year, or if you've been in 10 years. Doesn't make them a difference on that. All they want to do is reward success. Go to work, hit platinum, you get a piece of the platinum pool. An equal stake as some of us that may have been around for 5, 6 years. You know the one word that comes to mind when I think of that? Fair. Who cares if you're just seeing this for the first time? Get it done. And next year, you'll be participating in that $1 million giveaway. That happened today. 6-figure checks being handed to individuals as a bonus on top of what we've earned all year long, which is multiple 6 figures. How many of you are getting this? Not only that, you get an additional share of stock options. You get the big, fat Super Bowl diamond ring. People ask me all the time, who do you play for? I said, I won the Telecom Bowl. The point is this. This company takes care of its leaders. And the only person deciding whether or not you're going to be a leader is that beautiful person that you look at every day in the mirror. So I'm here to tell you, you might be thinking, well, man, how the heck do you get started in this? Very simple. 2 positions to start. Customer rep and independent marketing representative. I'm going to close out and tell you which one you need to start with. Independent marketing representative. There's a one-time startup. It's $249 to start. You may be thinking to yourself, some people are thinking, I knew it was a catch. We've got to pay to get in. I want to stop that stinking thinking right now. Here's what I want to tell you. You can get started in a business that has no upside limitations at all, and it costs you less than $250 to get in. You better dive all in. Because I'm telling you right now, if you understood the lifestyle this company has afforded many of us, you'd pay a whole lot more than $250 to get in. We've made millions in this with a $250 buy-in. Matter of fact, when I got in, it was double the cost, $500. And I'm thinking, that's it? Some people thinking, oh, hell, I knew it. We got to pay to get in. Listen, let me tell you right now. That's the wrong thinking. Now, look, I already know whenever we do presentations like this, I've been doing this for 16 years. 3 types of people listen to this. And all 3 of you are probably here tonight. Number 1 person says, sir, we could have stopped 30 minutes ago. This is a no-brainer. I'm in. Let's roll. Congratulations if that's your thought process. Welcome to the family. Second person says, you know what, hold up, I've got some questions. A lot of information here, I'm taking it all in, sounds good. Get your questions answered, folks. I think it's more important that you're excited about who you're in business with versus what we do. I believe that we're all family under one umbrella. We've got each other's back, because if we can help you succeed, the company succeeds, reputation succeeds, everybody wins. So if you've got questions, get your questions answered. However, get them answered by somebody that can answer them. Don't go home and ask somebody who did not see what you just watched whether or not you should do this. That's business suicide. Because somebody's always going to tell you why you should or shouldn't do something, yet they're not living the lifestyle you want to lead. So get your questions answered. Then there's a third person, believe it or not. As great as this is, there are people that will sit in an audience like this and say, this isn't for me. I've responded to that person the same way for 16 years. God bless you. If it's not for you, we love you. We just won't work together. That's okay. Has nothing to do with the friendship. I believe that if somebody makes a decision they're not in, it only affects their income. That's it. Does not affect ours. We love them the same. It just means that 5 Links will never do a direct deposit in their account. That's all that means to me when somebody says, this isn't for me. God bless you. Now, I've only seen a few reasons why somebody wouldn't do it. In 16 years, I can't think of a reason outside of 4. I don't care how they package it. They can bring it to me any kind of way. It's one of the 4. Number 1, they didn't understand it. Number 2, they don't believe it. Too good to be true. Number 3, they don't feel like they have time to fit this in. Number 4, they don't have any money. It's the only reasons I've ever seen. They don't believe it, they didn't get it, they don't have any money, they don't have any time. That's it. Let me just touch on those and we're done. Is that fair? Number 1, you didn't understand this. That's the least of your concerns. You didn't understand everything the first day on your job, but you still got a check in 2 weeks. So stop looking at this differently. You know people that are on your job for 20 years still don't know what the hell they're doing, and they still get paid every 2 weeks. So don't blame that on 5 Links. Do your due diligence and earn while you learn. We'll teach you how to make money while you're learning this game. Second person says, you know what? I don't believe that. You ever met negative people? I don't believe that stuff. My cousins, sisters, uncles, friends, neighbor did that. Why would you listen to that neighbor? It baffles me when people listen to them. I want to find out why it didn't work. Why would you want to even know what they did that didn't work? When you got so many examples of people that are making millions of dollars, those are the ones I would want to listen to. I wouldn't even want the stuff that didn't work to rub off on me. You say, who wasn't successful? This dude, okay, hold on, I'm going over here. So if you didn't understand everything, or you don't believe it, I should say, just do your due diligence. Check out what we're doing. I guarantee you, right now, professional networkers are coming on board. We've got a group of professional networkers that are big-time players in this business. Great guys. I got a chance to spend some time, have lunch with them today, and I just want to publicly, to all 3 of the main players, I want to welcome you to the 5 Links family. You've joined a family, and we've got your back. That third person says, you know, I just don't have the time. This is making sense, and I do understand that I don't have time, Steve. That's a false statement. The good Lord's given us all 24 hours in a day. Don't tell me you don't have time. It's how are you allocating the time the Lord has given you. Don't tell me you don't have 24 hours. You have the same 24 we've got. Don't think because those of us making 50, 60,000 every month that we got 34 hours in a day. Same 24 hours. It's what we've done with the time. And most people are busy and feeling they can't do this because, unfortunately, they're 100% responsible for their own income. Meaning if they stop, the money stops. If they slow down, the money slows down. Maybe if they got a significant other, maybe that other person's bringing in some income in that house, but that's where it ends. What we're telling you is this. You don't have a limit to how many people can contribute to your income. You know right now, even if you thought you were busy, if 20 people were making you money, you'd be less busy. If 100 people were generating you income, you'd be even less busy. And if 1,000 people were generating you income, you would not even think you're busy. Because I'm telling you right now, I walked away from my job in 1998 because we built an organization big enough to where the collective efforts of the team were generating income for me and my family. And now I've grown to a point where I am unemployable and mentally unfit to work a job ever again. And hopefully I'm sharing that with you. Then that last most prevalent reason as we wrap this up, that people don't get in. Steve, this makes sense. Steve, I believe it. And Steve, I'll make the time. However, I don't have any money. Folks, let me tell you something right now. Don't ever let the lack of money stop you from making money. In other words, don't let the very reason to do it be your excuse not to. If $249 is already an issue in your life, and you are over 18 years old, I respectfully and lovingly say there's already a problem. There's an emergency right now that you're in. And I'm just saying, you need to fix it. I'm not going to stand on the stage and act or say that 5 Links is the only fix, because it's not. But I will ask this question: if not this, then what? If not you to fix it, then who? If not right now, when? People always getting ready to think about one day, possibly, hopefully one day, maybe, possibly getting started. That's the recipe for failure. So I'm telling you right now, if you like what you see and this is making sense, you stand up for what you believe in and you go for it. And you don't let anybody in your family talk you out of this. You don't have any money. That's the reason to do it. You need to be thankful to the Lord you're in here if $249 is an issue. Let's fix it. There's nothing to be embarrassed about, but let's just fix that so that's never a problem again. Is that fair? So I want to close out by asking a question. First of all, we've got some individuals that are relatively new in this business that are already getting their businesses up and running. So I want the brand new people who are here for the first time to look at some of these people I want to recognize. If you are a trainer in our business, meaning you've hit the first position, you got started, you liked what you saw, you hit the first position called trainer. Stand up and let's show these new people that this is working. Look around. Thank you. If you are an executive trainer, which is the next position, stand up and be recognized. Awesome. If you're an executive director, stand up proudly. Let's show these people that this is working. Awesome. National directors, where are you? Look around, New Orleans. Where are my senior vice presidents in the house, baby? Folks, you got a chance to, where are any platinums in the house tonight? Now listen, you got a chance to see some trainers stand up, some executive trainers stand up, some executive directors stand up, national directors stand up, senior vice presidents stand up, a double platinum senior vice president stand on this stage. You've seen every position that you can see, and knowing now that it's really happening because they started just like you, sitting in an audience listening to somebody. But as proud as I am of all the positions I've named, none of which are the most important people in this room tonight. The most important people in the room tonight are the leaders of tomorrow. And here's what I mean by that. New Orleans, if this is your first time ever looking at this, and you like what you see, and you've got that feeling in your gut, and the good Lord is whispering to you and telling you that's why I got you here. We don't care if you don't have $249 in your pocket. That's not what I'm asking. If it makes sense and you could see yourself becoming a part of this incredible family, stand up and let's give them a 5 Links welcome. As a matter of fact, come up on stage with me. Come on stage. I want everybody that's brand new, that sees themselves getting started, come up on this stage with me. 5 Links, keep your hands clapping for every single one of them. Follow me up on this stage. My brother, congratulations. 5 Links, keep your hands clapping. Congratulations. Congratulations. Welcome to the family. Congratulations. Congratulations, sweetheart. My brother, congratulations. Congratulations. They're still coming from the back. Let's show them some love. Come on, let's fill this stage up and change some lives in here tonight. They're coming from the left. They're coming from the right. They're coming from the center. 5 Links, can we show them some love? Keep them coming. Look at all these people willing to change their lives. every single one of them. Come on in, we family here. Let's pack them in. Let's fill every square inch of this stage. Keep on coming up, let them up here. I want every brand new person that sees this as an opportunity to join me on this stage. Congratulations, that's fantastic.
New Orleans.
Absolutely. Is New Orleans on the map? Look, folks, we've got some rebuilding to do in New Orleans, do we not? Do we have an answer for every single person up here? Now, here's what I want to say. Reduce the music. Let me have a conversation with all these beautiful people. The first thing I want to say, which is most important, is congratulations. To every single one of you, congratulations. And here's why I say congratulations. Because what you may not know, 16 years of experience tells me certain things that I want to share with you. What you may not know, and this is a true statement, is that what you've already done just now tonight, in my opinion, was the most difficult step. And that is standing up for something and just making a stand and coming up here. There's some people still out here I know right now that are here for the first time. And they're apprehensive and kind of a little nervous and wondering and probably saying, Lord, please don't steal my $250, which is a normal thought process. But those individuals allowed whatever it may be, and we love them the same, but they allowed it to paralyze them from stepping up. And all I'm telling all of you is that if you don't stand for something, odds are you're going to fall for anything. And I'm telling you right now, you are not in business by yourself. You're in business for yourself, not by yourself. And I can prove it. Five Links, do we have their back? Now, let me tell you what that means. That means we've got an army of people behind you. You're not in this war on your own. And when I say war, I'm talking against poverty. I'm talking against brokenness. I'm talking against financial strain and stress. That's what the war is against. And we're going to win this one because we know that every single one of you has the God-given ability and talents to do this, because it doesn't take a special talent to do. All it takes is some desire and some belief and some no-quit attitude. Don't let somebody that's a family member or friend come to you and tell you that this won't work for you. Don't value that opinion. You can love them. She said, don't tell them. You got negative folks in your family. Her suggestion is stay away from them. She said, I'm not telling my husband. But let me tell you this. You're going to have some people tell you this isn't going to work for you and that they've heard of something like this and that they're going to try to get your money and blah, blah, blah. They're going to try to educate you on why this won't work for you. Let me very openly tell you something. I had people tell me the same thing in 1996 when I first got in this industry. Some of those individuals lovingly came in the disguises as my parents. My father was one that said, that stuff's never going to work. Now, he's one of my biggest supporters today and one of my biggest fans and cheerleaders. And I don't think he was doing it maliciously in the least bit. My father and mother love us tremendously and have always supported us in everything myself, my brother, my sister have ever done. But they just didn't believe this would work. They thought they were protecting me by saying, don't do that. We've heard of that stuff. They had different names for it back in our day. But don't do that. The people at the top make the money. They want your money and you get burned. I said to my father, Dad, listen. I said, why would it not work if I do it? The computer promotes me. So if I do what it says, if I put the amount of customers in or recruit the amount of people to hit a position, the computer doesn't say, well, you didn't smile at me today or you had an attitude, so I'm not going to promote you. The computer doesn't do that. It has no bias. It says, okay, you recruited your 2 people, you got your 10 customers, you're an executive trainer. That's just how it works. So guess who's in total control? You. And I knew that even as a young 27-year-old. This was 16 years ago. I'm 43 today. And I told my father, I said, Dad, I'm going to do it. He said, well, listen, if you believe, I believe if anybody can pull it off, you can. Today, they're my biggest cheerleaders, my parents. But the blessing is that whenever the family gets into a financial crunch, who do you think they call? Here's the number one blessing. I've never had to say no. So my point is this. One drowning person can't save another. So you've got to first get on land so that you can reach back and give some life preservers to your family members, even if they don't believe you today. Just don't let them pull you underwater because they want to be underwater. So you're going to walk out of this arena today, and this is unique in itself in the fact that we've got every leader from our company here in New Orleans. This doesn't happen every day. This is our convention. So we've got every single person from all over the country and North America here. So you guys can clearly see this. But when you go to a meeting in your local market and there are no senior vice presidents in your market, there are no national directors in your market, does that mean it's not working? No. Who ought to become the senior vice president? You guys. So you guys create that success and you'll attract everybody else. So then the next time that we come to New Orleans, we can't fit in this arena the next time we come. And every single one of you are going to be in a position where you've got hundreds of people, hopefully thousands of people in your network, and you build an organization. So I'm encouraging every single one of you to do one thing for me at least today, and that is to make a decision that you will not quit on yourself. Here's the last thing I'm going to say. Most of us have been taught to be the best quitters on the planet. We quit workout regimens, we quit school, we quit jobs, we quit relationships, we quit everything we start. We were excited when we started, we get unexcited, we quit. This is one you can't afford to quit. When you start weighing whether it costs you more to do it or more not to, I guarantee you it's going to cost you more to not do this. If you get started, finish. Because quitting and doing what would be my question? Going back to the job that you knew wasn't going to do it, which is why you're on this stage right now? You knew it wasn't going to work in the first place. That's why you're excited today to see something that can fix your situation. So if you quit this, you're going to go back to doing that again when you know better. I'm saying stick with what you're doing. Don't quit your job tomorrow. I'm not encouraging that to anyone. I'm saying continue to do what you're doing and allow the leaders in this company like myself and the hundreds of leaders in this room to guide you step by step on how to make this work for you and your family so that there's no guesswork here. We're not going to say, hey, welcome to the team. Go get them, Tiger. We're going to say, hold up. Welcome to the family. Here's step one. Here's how you're going to say this. Here's how you do that. Make sure you don't say this. Make sure you don't say that. Don't start until you finish this, and this is how it goes. We'll teach you everything so that you don't have to guess. Is that comforting? And we know that we've got a responsibility to help each of you succeed, and I'm going to unashamedly tell you why. Because the more money we can help every single one of you make, the more money we make. So it's a financial incentive for us to help you all become millionaires. So let's all get paid. Let's have some fun. Let's bless some people. Let's change some lives. And let's get this done. My name is Steve Carter, double platinum senior vice president. God bless you guys. And welcome to the family, everybody.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what.
Welcome to the family.
I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there.